This is a video tutorial for how to create part files using Inventor 2016. I've created the part file already, just to give you an idea of what we're going for here. And there's actually 3 different ways that I can go about making this part file. And it's all about doing the least amount of work to get to your end goal. We could do additive modeling, which I've done here, which I literally built cube by cube by cube. We could do simplify additive, which I will show you in a few seconds. And we could do subtractive modeling. So I just wanted to start off by showing you what kind of part we're going for, and then start from scratch. So I'm going to go up to the eye in the upper left hand corner, go down to New, and say Part. Once in this mode, I can create a 2D sketch, pick any plane. I'll pick this one here. And again, this is going to be the very long, drawn out, block by block method. So I can use the line tool, but I can also use the rectangle tool. So I'll use the rectangle tool, clicking on the origin point here. I'm going to drag up and out to the right. And I'm going to first type in 0.75 and then hit Tab on my keyboard, and that'll switch me to the other dimension where I can type 0.75 and hit Enter. That has now locked those dimensions in. I can say Finish Sketch and go to Extrude. For the distance on the extrude, I would also want to set that to 0.75 and say OK. So right there, I have a single cube. To build off of that, I can create additional sketches. I can click on any surface really. I'm going to go for the one on the right. And I could take the rectangle tool, click in the upper corner there and trace it out, but there's also this feature called Project Geometry, which is very helpful. So I'll show you how to use that. It's a simple turn it on to click it, click on that surface, and now it's traced the outside profile. I can use those yellow lines to create an additional extrusion. So I said Finish Sketch, Extrude again, 0.75, I remembered it from the last time, and I can hit the check mark and say OK. I want to then do another cube on the left side here. For this one, I will need to drop a line right down the middle, so I'm just going to grab my rectangle tool, go in the upper left hand corner, drag that across, and you can actually lock into those midpoints. So what I'm looking for here is 0.75 and 0.75 inches. I'll click again. I have my face of my next cube. Say Finish Sketch and Extrude. Automatically selects the profile for me, 0.75, hit the check mark, and then I just need to create one more on top. So do the same thing. I'll grab the rectangle tool, clicking on this inside point there, dragging it to the outer corner there, Finish Sketch, Extrude, and bam. I have my puzzle cube part. Now that took 4 sketches and 4 extrusions. There is a simpler way, which I will show you next. Before we call this part done though, you always need to set 2 things, material and appearance. So for the material, I can go to this drop down here, and what I'm looking for is wood birch. It's the material that most likely resembles the cubes that we have in class. And then on the second drop down, this is your appearance. So I can make this any color I want, and I want it to be representative of the colors that I've used in my sketches thus far. So I'm going to go with blue wall paint. So at this point, we could consider this part complete. Now for the simplified additive approach. I'll go File, New, and say Part. Now, I'll flip back to my other file here, since this part all rests on this base, I can create this entire base in one sketch and extrude it at one time, and then just build the cube on top. So that's what I'll show you how to do now. Create another 2D sketch, select this plane, and I'm going to build this in the lower left-hand quadrant using the line tool. So I'm going to start on the origin, drag off to the left. This would be 2 cubes long, so 1.5. Drop it down, 0.75. Bring it in, 0.75. Another 0.75 going down, and one more off to the right. My final line, I need to bring it back up and connect to the origin point here. And now I have a complete sketch. I'll say Finish, Extrude. I need to set my distance to 0.75. And now I've created 3 cubes, all with just 1 sketch and 1 extrusion. I do need to create my final cube on top, so I'll create another sketch on this top surface here, just like we did on the last part that I had showed you. Click on this inside corner, drag it to the outside, and extrude. So that was a much quicker process, and it only took 2 sketches and 2 extrusions. To finish it, I want to set my material, wood birch, and of course my appearance, blue. So that was additive modeling. The third option I want to show you is subtractive modeling. So to do this, I'll create a new part. So if you actually click on File, New, and don't let it go over and select Part from there, you can get this window here, Create New File. You always want to make sure you're on the English folder and using a standard inch IPT. So I wanted to show you that as well. So for this, I'll say Create. And to get started, subtractive modeling means that I'm going to start with a big model and actually cut pieces away from it. So what I will do is select this plane, grab my rectangle tool, and I'm going to make it 1.5, hit Tab on the keyboard, and drag down so you can see this, and say 1.5 again. Finish my sketch, extrude that up 1.5 inches, and now I want to start cutting away from it. So I can create another sketch up top here. I would want to create the L shape. So I'm going to go to my midpoint first, drag down towards the middle, type 0.75, hit enter, drag out this direction, and from here I can just click the corners. Completed my profile. I can say finish sketch. I'll bring up the extrude panel, and for this one I'd want to cut it away. So that's this option here. I can select that profile that I want to cut, and what I need to do is set my distance. So 0.75. The last thing I need to do would be create another sketch on this plane and take out this front section here. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool, bottom corner, middle corner, finish sketch, extrude, cut that profile away, 0.75. So this did take longer than the simplified approach. However, depending on the complexity of your parts and the way that you like to think, this could be an option for you. Of course, with anything, I need to set my material and my appearance. So those are 3 approaches for you. The block by block method, which took 4 sketches and 4 extrusions. Simplified, which only took 2 sketches and 2 extrusions. And subtractive modeling, which took 3. Hopefully this was helpful. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next tutorial.